Kenya's 146 billion shillings earnings tourism sector is bullish about the prospects for 2023, even as the rest of the economy is bracing for what is expecting to be a downturn in activity. Stakeholders in the sector say that the COVID-19 disruption, which plunged the sector into a deep recession, necessitated adoption of resilience and agility mechanisms for business continuity. Brian George has the details.
According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the tourism and hospitality sector posted the strongest growth among all sectors in the second quarter of 2022, growing by a staggering 22.0% as the sector shrugged off the lingering effects of COVID-19 disruption. Stakeholders now say that despite the headwinds of a runaway inflation and a general economic slowdown, they are bullish about 2023.
Surprisingly, most of the places we are back better to where we were before. I mean, after the pandemic, we struggled, of course. I mean, our industry was the first hit, the last to recover, the last to be accessible again for guests and welcoming for guests.
Sure.
Started difficult. It was difficult at the beginning. Then we went up and up. But now Kenya is doing fantastically well. Not all the places in Kenya, Nairobi and the Masai Mara, all the parks, Mount Kenya, that area is doing very, very well.
Data from the Ministry of Tourism shows inbound travel to Kenya registered a 53.29% growth in 2021 at 870,465 tourists compared to 567,848 tourists in 2020. This performance was undermined by the upsurge of the Delta COVID variant of COVID-19 during the first quarter, but registered steady growth from June to December. Medi is confident that the industry will not struggle through it, as the pandemic was a worse shock that was managed well for a bounce back.
Look, 2008, if you count how many hotels have not reopened or closed, very little number. The worst we ever had as an industry was COVID. And we managed to be resilient from COVID. So we learned also from COVID that these bad times are always passing, be it for a month, for 6 months, for a year. You have to adapt. Basically, our costs are higher. Now, if you look at Kenya tourism, if you look into the leisure tourists, the people who come in for Masai Mara, come in for Fairmont Mount Kenya, these people have booked their trips last year already. So recession will not impact these travelers.
The tourism sector is one of Kenya's biggest sources of foreign exchange earnings and plays a crucial role as the economy seeks to address the prevailing challenge of shortage of the dollar in the local market. Brian George, Otieno, NTV.